Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news at 6 on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines. Prime Minister expresses sorrow over disruptions in Parliament, says democracy can't function on the whims and fancies of anyone. Protests by the Congress continue for the third day in a row in Parliament. Rajya Sabha adjourned after frequent disruptions by the party. Lok Sabha witnesses angry exchanges over BJP members' comments against Rahul Gandhi and Jyotiraditya Scindia. Speaker asks member Virendra Singh to apologize. Bombay High Court rules in favour of Salman Khan, says there's not enough evidence to convict the Bollywood actor in the 2002 hit-and-run case. And draft agreement on global climate deal released after 11 days of negotiations in Paris. India voices strong concerns on it. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today reacted to the disruptions in Parliament. Addressing an event organised by a news publication group, he countered the opposition's contention that the government had reached out to them only for the passage of GST. Instead, Modi linked the disruptions to losses for the poor in the country.
The Prime Minister on Thursday reacted to the disruptions in Parliament. He asserted that democracy cannot function at the whims and fancies of anyone. Without making any reference to Congress, Modi said democracy cannot be restricted to elections and governments alone.
आपने देखे होंगे इन दिनों जरा ज्यादा देखने को लगते हैं मेरी मर्जी मेरा मन करता है मैं ऐसा करूंगा क्या देश ऐसे चलता है क्या मनतंत्र से देश नहीं चलता है जनतंत्र से देश चलता है आपके मन में आपके विचार कुछ भी हो लेकिन इससे व्यवस्थाएं नहीं चलती है.
Modi said the poor are not able to get their rights as legislations are stuck due to the disruptions. He also said the government is requesting that Parliament should be allowed to function.
हम एक कानून लाए हैं जिसमें गरीब व्यक्ति जो नौकरी करता है उसके बोनस के संबंध में लेकिन आज मुझे दुख के साथ कहना पड़ता है कि पार्लियामेंट चल नहीं रही है गरीब का हक रुका पड़ा हुआ है और इस अर्थ में लेकिन चर्चा क्या होती है जीएसटी और पार्लियामेंट जीएसटी और पार्लियामेंट अरे भाई जीएसटी का जो होगा सब मिलकर के जो भी भागेगा भारत का भाग्य तय होगा लेकिन गरीबों का क्या.
Making a strong pitch for people's participation, Modi said the first thing is to have faith in the people and their strengths.
आजादी के बाद जन भागीदारी से अगर विकास यात्रा का मॉडल बनाया गया होता तो शायद हम सरकार के भरोसे जिस गति से चले हैं अगर जनता के भरोसे चलते तो उसकी गति हजारों गुना तेज होती उसका व्याप उसकी गहराई अकल्पित होती.
The Prime Minister's remarks at an event in Delhi come in the backdrop of the National Herald issue that cast a shadow on Parliament for the third day in a row. The Congress protest led to disruptions in both houses and blocking the passage of bills. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the Congress continued its tirade against the government on Thursday in the Rajya Sabha, accusing it of indulging in politics of revenge. The government, on the other hand, expressed its readiness to discuss all contentious issues, slamming the Congress for disrupting House proceedings. The stalemate stalled the business of the House for the third day in a row.
The logjam between the Congress and the government looked far from over as Parliament met for the day. As soon as members gathered in the House, Congress MPs were up on their feet, protesting what they call is the dictatorial stance of the government. They also accused the government of resorting to politics of vendetta. They stormed into the well and raised the pitch against the government. Meanwhile, AIADMK members also moved into the aisles, demanding that the devastation caused by the Chennai floods be declared a national calamity. The government also launched a counter-offensive against the Congress. Union ministers blamed the Congress for holding Parliament to ransom to block the passage of crucial bills. They also challenged the opposition to initiate discussion on issues of confrontation.
We are ready ready for a debate on all the three of national issue, of the Salman issue. They are running away from a debate, sir.
Start the discussion immediately. As the leader of the house has said, we are ready for discussion, sir.
देश में जो देश के विकास से जुड़े हुए सवाल है वो रोके जा रहे हैं। जो सदस्य सवाल पूछना चाहते हैं उन सवालों को नहीं पूछने दिया जा रहा है। ये सदस्यों के अधिकार का सवाल है।
0 hour, question hour and legislative business became casualties even as the chair urged members to allow the house to function. However, a few members tabled special mentions in the house.
Laid on the table.
The house was repeatedly adjourned before it was finally adjourned till Friday as the impasse prevailed. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, the scene was more or less the same in the lower house of parliament. Congress MPs in Lok Sabha raised the issue of personal remarks made against their leaders Rahul Gandhi and Jyotiraditya Scindia. The remark in question was made on Wednesday by BJP MP Virendra Singh during the discussion on the drought situation. Speaker Sumitra Mahajan expunged the remark from proceedings and also warned the MP.
Leader of the Congress party in Lok Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, raised the issue of unparliamentary remarks made against his party MPs. Accusing the government of supporting the member who made these remarks, Kharge demanded that the MP in question, Virendra Singh, apologize for his statement.
आपसे यही रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि उन मेंबर के ऊपर एक्शन लीजिए, कड़ा से कड़ा शिक्षा दीजिए। दूसरा चीज, ओपनली अपॉलॉजी वो अपॉलॉजी करे या आए, बात करके ये हिट एंड रन नहीं चलता।
The Congress party got the support of the Trinamool Congress. TMC MP Saugata Rai said that action against the offending MP was necessary to maintain the dignity of the House.
You said, Virendra Singh ji, ये अच्छा नहीं है, ऐसा करना नहीं चाहिए. We appreciated, our hearts lifted, that you are doing something to raise the morale of the House. But last part of your statement was not followed through. You said there is no harm in apologizing. Before in this House, Lakshmi Maharaj has apologized. So why don't we? This spectacle that some members are shouting slogan, ministers are going on with their business, this is a spectacle which pains me.
The speaker too suggested that Virendra Singh apologize, but when the MP refused to do so, he got a warning from Sumitra Mahajan.
मेरा आपसे मैं एक प्रकार से आपको ये चेतावनी दे रही हूँ, बैठिए प्लीज. यू प्लीज सिट डाउन, टेक योर सीट. ये जो आपने कहा वो उचित नहीं है, यही कह रही हूँ. डोंट से, इसके आगे मत करिए.
The Parliamentary Affairs Minister spoke for the government, saying it does not condone such behaviour. But he also questioned the behaviour of Congress MPs.
There is no question of appreciating anybody referring to the name of the families or to the person, and moreover persons who are also not there. The Honourable Speaker has informed us that all these objectionable remarks have been expunged. My request is, ma'am, when Kharge is saying that this is a Loktantra ka Praja Mandir, ये मंदिर ठीक तरह से चले, इसका दायित्व भी सबके ऊपर है. लोगों ने वेल में आके हिटलर मोदी तानाशाही नहीं चलेगा. प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया, the darling of the Indian masses, how do you call him a Hitler?
When their demands were not met, MPs of the Congress and the TMC walked out of the House. Shyam Sundar's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, joining me for a chat right now is our correspondent Shyam Sundar. Shyam, very similar scenes witnessed today as well on Thursday, very similar to what happened in both houses of parliament yesterday on Wednesday.
Yeah, Frank, of course, there were the same scenes in both the houses, but the issue was different today in the Lok Sabha because yesterday when there was a discussion under Rule 193 on the drought, one of the BJP MPs made unparliamentary comments about Jyotiraditya Scindia and Rahul Gandhi of Congress. And after that, Deputy Speaker was forced to adjourn the House, and Deputy Speaker ordered to expunge those comments. But in the morning, Congress gave an adjournment motion, notice of adjournment motion, and Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge was allowed by Speaker to speak on that motion, though it was rejected by, the notice was rejected by the Speaker Sumitra Mahajan. But when he was given a chance, he said that by BJP MPs, personal attacks are made on the Congress leadership, and not only the present leadership but the past leadership also. So there is a conspiracy, he said, and he accused government also, that he said that senior ministers were present when these kind of words were used against Congress leaders. So he accused senior leaders like Mr. Venkaiah Naidu and other ministers that they were supporting these kind of activities by BJP MPs in the House. Though Speaker Sumitra Mahajan warned Mr. Virendra Singh and she asked him to apologize, though he didn't agree to the advice of Speaker. After that, Congress was furious, and Congress got support of Trinamool Congress, and Trinamool Congress also insisted that he should tender apology. And when he didn't agree, both the parties walked out from the House. And now I think the way BJP was also adamant, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu insisted that if BJP MP is asked to apologize, then other MPs from Congress, they should do the same. So now BJP also, I think, understands that there is not much space. Congress is living for the government, and BJP is also trying to be politically correct in the House.
All right, Shyam Sundar, we'll have to leave to that. Thank you so much for joining us there with those details. It's time for a short break now, but coming up on the other side, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal urges the Prime Minister and Home Minister to give up control of ACB. Details in a bit. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Summons by a Delhi court. Echoes resound in Parliament. The National Herald case. What are its merits? Watch the big picture at 6:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Welcome February 1st, 2016. There will be complete ban on the use of plastic of any kind between Gomukh and Haridwar along the river Ganga. The National Green Tribunal today announced a slew of measures, including this one, to keep the river pollution free. Here's more.
The National Green Tribunal has banned camping activity in the entire belt of Kodiyala to Rishikesh on the banks of the river Ganga in Uttarakhand. However, rafting is still allowed in that stretch. These are just part of a slew of measures announced to clean the river. A complete ban on the use of plastics in the entire belt has also been announced. The fine for violation will be 5,000 rupees. A bench headed by NGT chairperson Swatantra Kumar said, no camping activity shall be carried out in the entire belt of Kodiyala to Rishikesh, and the government would abide by its statement made before the tribunal on March 31, 2015 till the regulatory regime in terms of this judgment comes into force and is effectively implemented. The order has come on the plea of an NGO, Social Action for Forest and Environment. In its plea, the NGO had asked for an order against the unregulated operation of rafting camps in Rishikesh and other areas on the banks of the river. A committee of officials has also been constituted to prepare a regulatory regime which should be submitted to the tribunal within 3 weeks. The panel comprises officials from various departments of both the centre and the Uttarakhand government. In the order, NGT said the committee shall consider all aspects of environment, wildlife, river and biodiversity while preparing the relevant regulatory regime. The committee has also been tasked with identifying sites for camping and also how these sites will be used. The bench has also asked that no construction activity be carried out within 100 meters of the river. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the Bombay High Court today acquitted actor Salman Khan of all charges in the hit-and-run case, ruling that he couldn't be convicted on the basis of current evidence. The order was celebrated by the actor and his fans, while others criticized it.
Reprieve for the Bollywood actor in the 2002 hit-and-run case. Then Bombay High Court ruled that the prosecution failed to establish its case on him on all charges. The verdict set Salman Khan free after the Sessions Court convicted and sentenced him to 5 years imprisonment in the case.
Obviously, so far as the client is concerned, it's a great relief after 13 years of journey that he has gone through. The court has held in his favor on all the issues that have been raised.
कोर्ट ने आज इसको बिल्कुल खारिज कर दिया, तो बात हम तो शुरू से कहते थे कि ये फंसाया गया था.
The High Court said the prosecution failed to establish beyond doubt that the actor was driving and was drunk at the time of the accident. The judge also said the investigation was faulty with many loose ends that benefited the actor. Prosecution will now take the case to the higher court.
ऊपर की बड़ी अदालतों में, हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में उसमें टाइम लगा और फिर दोबारा ट्रायल हुआ और रीट्रायल के बाद फिर दोबारा एविडेंस हुई बुलाई गई. उसमें कायदा ही है कि चार्ज बदला जाता है तो मुलजिम को मौका दिया जाता है.
मैं मानती हूं कि स्वाभाविक रूप से जुडिशरी ने एविडेंस के आधार पे अपना निर्णय फैसला दिया है. जो किसी को आपत्ति है तो उनके पास सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फोरम है.
On September 28, 2002, Salman Khan's car allegedly rammed into a bakery shop in suburban Bandra. One person was killed and 4 people were injured. Many lawyers, witnesses and victims said they weren't satisfied by the order.
नहीं, हमें मुआवजा नहीं मिला है जो है, और हम ये 13 साल के मतलब उसमें यही उम्मीद रखते थे कि जो है कोर्ट जो है हमें इंसाफ देगी, हमें मुआवजा दिलाएगी. मुझे अंधेरे में रखा, लेकिन आज जो फैसले के घड़ी आए कि मुआवजा दिया जाए तो कोर्ट ने जो है उनको बरी कर दिया.
Country also respects people who have a lot of money, so they can encash on it also. And unfortunately, our laws are the same equal bad law. They expect independent witnesses to prove the case.
With over 200 crore rupees riding on him, Salman Khan is now a free man. He was tried under Section 3041 for rash and negligent driving that attracts a maximum punishment of 2 years. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, joining me for a chat this evening to talk about this is Advocate Vivek Goyal. Thank you so much, Vivek, for joining me on the program. You know, as far as the Bombay High Court's verdict is concerned, it comes as a major relief for the actor Salman Khan. But what are the observations of the court?
The court has stated that the prosecution has failed to prove convincingly, the word is convincingly, on 2 points. One, that he was not drunk, he was drunk or not drunk, and the second point was whether he was driving the vehicle or not. So on both issues, the High Court stated that there is a doubt, and on the basis of this doubt, they have acquitted him.
You know, India favors those who are lucky, those lucky enough to be wealthy and famous is something that's been said time and again, and that's what, you know, in the social media has taken to. Do you agree with that?
I agree on many issues on this point, but actually if we go into the history of this whole issue, our Indian legal system is based on adversarial system. Wherever the Britishers were in power, in all these countries, it is common law system which is adopted. In some of the other countries like France and Germany, it is civil law system which is based on inquisitorial system. But in adversarial system, the judge is bound to decide on the basis of whatever is presented to him by the both parties, by the prosecution as well as by the defense. So in these cases, when the NDA was in power in the first time, so there was a committee appointed under the chairmanship of Justice Malimat. In that Malimat committee report, this whole issue was discussed in detail. So the outcome was that this adversarial system needs a relook in the matter.
Indeed. You know, but as far as this particular case itself is concerned, a very high-profile case. So do you believe in such high-profile cases that there is a lot of pressure on courts and judges in particular, you know, to deliver a verdict in favor probably of some of the high-profile candidates?
No, it is not on one side that sometimes it can be in the favor of the high-profile person, or sometimes it can be the other way also. But as the judge say that when justice has to decide, a judge has to decide a matter, he should not be influenced by the media pressure. But in the last few years, we have seen that in a lot of matters, there is a media trial, which should not be the case.
You know, what are the options now ahead of the prosecution? One option, of course, is to appeal in a higher court, which will be the Supreme Court, and they have said that they will indeed appeal in a higher court.
That is the only option. That is not one of the options. That is the only option. They can only go in appeal or accept the verdict.
All right, we'll have to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, Vivek, and putting things into perspective for us. Let's move on now and get you some updates from across the country in Nationwide. Defense Minister Manohar Parrikar will meet US Defense Secretary Ashton Carter at an informal dinner at the Pentagon today. They will reportedly discuss the long-term strategic partnership between the two countries. Parrikar and his American counterpart are slated to meet tomorrow as well. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal made a strong case for the centre to hand over control of the Anti-Corruption Bureau to the state government and support the Delhi government's anti-graft bill. He also said the state government had several means to nab corrupt persons. The Supreme Court upheld the minimum educational criteria for candidates contesting panchayat polls in Haryana. According to the law passed by the Assembly in September, general candidates need a Class 10 qualification, while women and Dalit candidates need to clear Class 8 to contest the panchayat polls. The three accused in the infamous Park Street gang rape case were today convicted by a court in Kolkata. Two other accused in the case are still absconding. The quantum of punishment will be announced on Friday. The victim was picked up in a car in front of a nightclub in 2012 and gang raped before she was thrown off near a road crossing. The prosecution in the Mumbai attack case in Pakistan faced embarrassment today when a key witness turned hostile. The witness said that Ajmal Kasab, the lone gunman caught alive, who was later hanged in India, was alive. The headmaster of a school where Kasab is believed to have studied told the court that he was alive. He was supposed to present the record of the period during which Kasab studied at the school. Court officials now believe that the headmaster may have spoken under pressure from the main accused in the case, Zakir Rahman Lakhvi, as he belongs to Lakhvi's native town. The next hearing is on December 16th. The trial against LET operatives, including Zakir Rahman Lakhvi, has been underway since 2009 for their alleged role in the Mumbai attacks. A draft agreement for the global climate deal was released after 11 days of negotiations at the UN Climate Summit in Paris. Many countries are still at loggerheads over key issues, especially on climate financing. India has strongly voiced its concerns over the fresh draft. Here's more.
After 3 days of backroom negotiations, Climate Conference Chairman Laurent Fabius unveiled the latest draft for a global climate deal ahead of the Friday deadline. Fabius reiterated some progress was made, but there is still room for improvement.
Sur tous ces sujets, sur lesquels les partis ont construit ces derniers jours des consensus, nous proposons donc un texte que j'appellerais trivialement propre, clean. Bien entendu, la règle entre nous, c'est que rien n'est agréé tant que tout n'est pas agréé.
The new draft excludes two key issues that India has highlighted: a commitment from developed nations to contribute to the Green Climate Fund and sharing of technology to help developing nations move to clean energy. A Chinese delegation is analyzing the new draft. They will hold consultations with other countries including India, Brazil, South Africa, the G77 group and developed countries.
再要解决的几个主要问题，一个是区别问题，一个是资金问题，一个是力度问题。这主要是各国承诺的这个水平。
Meanwhile, the US made a new financing pledge that could clinch the Global Climate Pact. They doubled funding for developing countries to nearly $860 million a year.
So I am pleased to announce today that the United States is committing to double our public grant-based adaptation investments by the year 2020. We are prepared to do our part, and we will not leave the most vulnerable nations among us to quite literally weather the storm alone.
Key issues that remain now include post-2020 climate finance, ambition of action and how to reflect the principle of common but differentiated responsibility. Outside the venue, Greenpeace activists rolled a 2-story high mechanically operated polar bear on Wednesday. It was one of the many scattered protests to demand urgent action to combat climate change. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Let's now bring you a roundup of the other international news in Global Buzz. A suicide bomber killed at least 6 people outside a mosque in Baghdad yesterday. In an online statement, the Islamic State claimed responsibility and said the attack targeted rejectionists, a term used by Sunni militants to describe Shiites. Australian police charged a 20-year-old man and a 15-year-old boy with conspiracy to conduct an act of terrorism. Police said that the plots could have included attacks on government buildings and random civilians. 3 other men will also be charged. Dozens of people were killed while fighting at the Kandahar airport after an overnight attack by Taliban insurgents. The attack on one of the most heavily protected bases in Afghanistan showed the Taliban's ability to inflict serious damage on security forces. Ahead of the prize presentation, the Nobel Prize concert was held in Stockholm Concert Hall. This year's winners of the Nobel Prize were awarded in physics, literature, economy, medicine and chemistry. Storms triggered mudslides and flooding in northwest US yesterday, knocking out power for thousands of people and leaving 2 dead in Oregon. The National Weather Service said Portland had over 5 inches of rain in 3 days, while Seattle exceeded its normal December rainfall tally in just 8 days. That's it on this bulletin. Have a good evening.